Honor and proud to be here, to be honest, and thank you both of you. Okay,
we're glad to have you, man. And for those who don't know him or don't know you, just tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yoe The Groomer. I mean, everything started 2011. I came this country, of course, a country of opportunities. And I was what I'm gonna do. So my background, I was a science computer guy. So nothing related to pets, but I always have pets. And I always love dogs. All my life I have dogs. So I became this country like a dream, everybody following a dream. And somebody told me, well, there is not much to do, but there is a pet grooming that is looking for someone. What is a pet grooming?
Right.
I have no idea.
Let's backtrack a little bit. Like, how was the journey for you coming from Cuba to, because you're Cuban, right?
Yes, yeah, I'm Cuban. I'm Cuban. So
how was that for you?
I went to Mexico for starting. Things didn't work out there. My sister living there for 10 years and didn't work out there. We just decided to start a new life. All of us, my sister, me, the husband, and all of that. So we came this country because Cuban, we have some benefits. So we came here. And then everything started, from Mexico. We crossed the border, walking, and then we start a new life here as a refugees, whatever, Then everything started getting more, situated. My sister, have a house. She started doing her things, and then I was bored at home, and somebody told me there is a job opportunity. I was, what is it? And they say, pet grooming. I was, what is that? So they say, well, you go there and you're gonna work with doggies. I was, oh, that's fun. I like it. So I started washing dogs for fun, They pay me nothing. And when I say nothing, not even, enough to pay my things. But I started liking that thing, from the beginning, like washing a dog, putting in water on the dog, and then being around dogs, I started loving the thing. And then every time when they clock me out, I stay there, I was looking the guys doing the grooming.
Right.
I was, I kind of like the transformation. I kind of like what's going on. So can I try? And there was no. I was okay. So I bought my things with my money that left. I bought my things, bought all my equipment. And one day I show up with my case, and they was like, "What are you doing?" I'm doing my things. I was,
so you don't know. You're self-taught.
Yes.
And how long ago did you start again? I'm sorry.
It's been 12 years.
12 years.
2011. When actually the owner of that place saw me trying, he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I want to learn, but I'm not going to pay you more." I was like, "You don't have to pay me. I'm going to learn because I want." And then thank God I get two friends there that they teach me. They start, hiding from the owner. Hey,
crazy.
Come here. Let me show you. And then they give me the opportunity, which I appreciated. These two guys, they start getting me involved. So that happens at the very first 1 or 2 months. So then the real story comes. One day I was washing the dog in the back, and there was a beautiful girl that just opened the door in the back. And that girl today is my wife. So my wife, she was, I say she was because she's not anymore in the grooming industry. She was a groomer for 14 years when I met her.
Okay.
She was doing mobile every day. So she opened that door, and then I get in love with what I was doing and with her. So that was the second reason why I stayed in the grooming industry. So we become friends, and then she became my girlfriend, and then we married. So long story short, I stayed on that area because of her and because of the dog. And then we become together, and we decide to go a little bit more, on deep on the industry. So we start looking for a business.
Right.
But we start looking for a mobile because she know how to do the mobile. So she start looking for that. She was teaching me my finishing work is coming from her, from my wife, because she was like so talented. She's still. I learned a lot from her. So it was very funny because we start looking for a mobile. And then a business shows up, and thank God it's been 8 years. Orange Grooming, which is where I come from Orange Grooming. And then 2 years ago, I just was bored one day. I was like, okay, what else? So I decided to bring something that was me, what I was doing. So I just create Yoe The Groomer. Believe it or not, last year, March, it was when I went to this show, Global Pet Expo 2022, actually, because the COVID. I always go to that shows, but I never, was interested.
Well, before we get to the first time you kind of got into the grooming industry, I want to backtrack a little bit. At what point when you started grooming, right? At what point did you decide, or did you realize that you were ready to become and step into the entrepreneurial side of things?
Well, I always been, since 14 years of businessman. I was literally doing business in Cuba at age of 13, 14. So
What'd you start with?
I started reselling things.
Yeah.
I was a
So
very
whatever
good
you can
sales,
get your hands on.
Whatever. You give me something, I resell it, and I give you half, and I give it half. Simple. So that was my passion. Like from my very young age, I was that guy that go here, go there, sell, bring, buy, resell.
Hustler.
Yes. So then I start my business, and then I literally was again selling, products. So hey, let's do this, let's do that. So I even dyed dogs, with the coloring and all of that, because it was another team fun, but never was my, my things.
Right.
So I become then looking to perfection my techniques to do more, because I was kind of getting like bored, like going to the business in the morning, doing all the dogs and going back home, it was a day of business. So I start relating with people, I start social media, which I never done before 2 years ago, believe it or not. And then I start like getting more motivated to do something else. So what else I can do?
Right.
So that's how Yoe The Groomer shows in the picture, because I was trying to do now something out of the business, a place like store. So I was more interested on the entrepreneurial side, like what I can do with what I'm doing. And people start noticing there was really, very motivating me. Hey, look what you just did. Hey, look that. So you can do this, or look what you just done. I get very motivated about myself, my work. So I start going, getting educated on the shows and all of that. So that was what I was explaining to you when I came to this show at Global. So I met, a few companies, Guy Barcott. I met that day Brody that dude. I met that day Jess Adorno. I met the day Jay Batista. So it was a very interesting story. I never forget. It was April 23rd, 2022. Many things. I think that I even met you close to that days.
I don't think I was at that one. I think the first show I met you at, or I saw you at, was Atlanta. And I remember because it was just kind of, out of nowhere. You're a big dude, Spanish dude.
Everything happens so fast that it's been a year. And if I try to organize all the process, my friend, it's been a crazy journey, very emotional and very, everything happened one after another one. That people, around me, they say it's been only a year since you start really getting, into the shows and more exposed as a Yoe The Groomer. Yeah, it's been only a year since then.
So what advice do you have to people who were in a position like you, right? They didn't really know that this industry was as robust as it is with education, and not just education, but with skill level, right? Like as how skilled you can become just by taking seminars, webinars, or whatever it is, right? What advice do you have someone that not only wants to up their game, but also become a social media presence, kind of like what you did? Well,
definitely I have to mention, educate yourself. I know you say more, beyond education, but definitely everything starts from there. From my personal experience, educate yourself for the products, techniques, tools, equipments. Understanding and educating will help a lot. Definitely do what I did. Go to the shows. More than educating yourself, go assist, attendee, as someone that is interested to really understand and being able to get exposed. Same happened with me, because I was wearing my logo for the first time when I met Brody and all of these people around now me. That was the first time that I wear my logo, Yoe The Groomer. And, if I wasn't ready, nothing happens.
So branding, you're saying super
branding
important.
All the time. People say, live the life like it's the last day. I always say the same about branding. Do the branding like it's last day. And you want to really, show, not like ego. I would say more like a business, entrepreneur. Because at the end of the day, every groomer, it's a story. Every groomer, what we do, it's handmade. Is 100% you. Doesn't matter what's behind you. At the end of the day, is you. You are an artist. You are professional. beginner or expert, you still have your capacity, you have your talents, and you have your gifts. So be able to expose that. You don't know what could happen. Exactly that happened with me, which I'm very grateful. Definitely once you educate yourself, when you get exposed, be able to bring that, and now you expose that. So tell people what you're doing, get motivated yourself. One thing that I do to motivate myself is record what I'm doing, and then I take a look. I see my techniques, I see how I look, I see what I'm doing, and then I perfection that, because it's a good way to, to really understand what's going on. Because today is very easy, social media, and don't be afraid, because believe me, when I start walking between lions. Today, I understand there was normal people like me. And I will say this because some people today, they told me, oh, but you Yoe, oh, but this is no matter what you think you are. We are all the same. So don't be afraid to really get exposed and show the world what you're able to do. And you're going to get surprised about your skills, because you're really passionate about this industry. Believe me, there is a lot more that you can do. You keep, feeling your passion as a own experience. There is a lot.
And you mentioned, as a content creator, you get to that point where you're very critical of what you're putting out there. You're very critical of whether that video looks good or whether it doesn't. I know that there's been many times where I've put together a whole piece of content, dropped it, and then immediately deleted it just because I didn't think it was up to par. So how do you get over that hump of just putting it out there? Because that's I feel like that's something that a lot of people kind of run into, right? They have this problem, or they have this insecurity, or whatever it might be.
I was going right there.
And they don't release the content. So what advice would you have for someone that's having that issue?
Believe in yourself. You have to be genuine. You can't fake what's real. So today there is 8 billion people out there, and I would tell you this: you can please not even 1% of them. So believe in yourself. Be able to understand what you're doing and try to expose the way that you are doing it. Because if you start comparing, if you start kind of criticizing yourself, then you're going to get very disappointed. And then it's going to happen. You're going to be posting, for example, and then deleting right away. And then it becomes to the back and forth that you really don't know what's going to be good or bad. So you have to believe in yourself. Try to be on purpose. Everything you do with all the intentions. I always mention this for all the guys around me that I mentor, this and that. And I tell everybody, everything doing it with intentions, without expectations. That doesn't mean that you are not expecting. But if something didn't go the way that you expected, you're still going to be healthy. Mentally healthy,
right?
Like you're gonna keep going no matter what.
Yeah, you shouldn't let it disappoint you. At the end of the day, it's just numbers.
Yes. So believe in yourself. If that's the content that you think is the one that you have to be out there, and you don't have to be too much creative. It could be simple. It could be what you're doing. Just share. People like it or not, just keep going, because as a matter of fact, I have many experience that I think that something is going to be super extremely successful and it didn't pick up. And then I just post something that I was like, and then it goes like crazy. So I realized that it's not about, what is supposed to be, it's about what is about to be. So believe in yourself. Don't compare with others. Of course, learn from others. I always get advice from every content creator around me. I get advice from people that are really doing good. Mm-hmm. And their advice is pretty much also what I'm saying. Do your things. Be genuine, believe in yourself, and let people choose. At the end of the day, this is followers, people that's going to follow you or unfollow you. So, it's a whole world out there. Content is for everybody, and it's about everything. So,
Right. How important, now that you're saying, like, you're learning from other influencers, yes. How important has collaborations been for you?
Oh, it's A+. Being honest, without the support and collaborations and help from others, I won't be here today. I won't be nowhere because this is a whole career. Content creator, with grooming, with an entrepreneur, with working with brands, which is really hard. It's a whole thing that you have to be connected one to each other.
Right.
Today we are here together. You represent something, I represent another thing, and this is the power of getting connected to the right people and doing the things as a part of a collaboration. Don't thinking you own the world. Understanding that this is a career. I personally think that we need each other to be able to bring really quality content for people that is looking for something. Yes.
What has been like your biggest highlight in terms of collaboration so far?
Oh, definitely Brody, that dude.
How's that? How's that experience been for
that
you?
experience never stopped. Brody, it's been definitely a booster in my life about, what you were mentioning about collabs, about influencers around you, people that, live that kind of life about creating content as professional content creators. That's what they do. So getting close to these kind of collaborations, it really boosts my career to get exposed, and I'm very grateful about it because definitely it was a before and after in my career, Brody, that dude. Yes.
At what point was it time for you to walk away and kind of just say, it's time for me to go do my own thing. I want to do Yoe The Groomer. I want to do this mobile thing. I want to shoot content with Brody all day. Like, at what point did you feel comfortable enough to do that? They just to leave the business, do its thing?
I would lie if I say if I'm still comfortable. It's never gonna be comfortable because you're responsible people. You have a business that you have to take care. Don't get me wrong, but some people, they just go away and they left things that is important behind, and that's not responsible. So I'm still taking care of many things.
Right, for sure.
Saying that I'm not comfortable doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying what I'm doing.
Right.
But I try to balance my life because there is priorities.
I mean, walk away in total. I mean, just like, at what point where you're like, all right, I feel comfortable enough delegating this task to this person, and I know that the shop is going to run smoothly without me being there.
This is going to be funny. I got comfortable to do it when I was uncomfortable there. So I was like, what else? I got bored. I got those. So what's next? Is Joe as a personal people. You know that I'm super hyper. I'm super active. So sometimes I was at the shop and it was slow. So what else? What I do? I start building. I'm a handyman too. So I start building. Then I start doing this and that. And then I was like, man, what I'm doing? Let me get focused on what I'm doing. So what else? So I realized that it was something there. So when I did show.
so slowly but surely, you let go of the bathing, and then you let go of the fluffing and drying, and then you let go of the haircut in general, and now you're just managing, so you're ready to move on to the next
But
thing.
I'm still working every day on my mobile, the exclusive mobile that I have for Yoe The Groomer. And people think because I'm not at the business, I'm as busy as the business because I'm still managing the phone for Yoe The Groomer on the mobile. I'm still dealing with pet parents. I'm dealing with big pets, which is not easy. They are not easy work. That's my expertise. I like the impossibles. And that pretty much bring attention, to me, to do what I was not doing and what people sometimes they're afraid to do. So I get motivated about what about if we do this? Yes, let's do it. Let's try. And then it really motivates me. So that was the break point when I was motivated to do something else.
Right.
So that was the break point.
And circling back to you talking about big dogs and hard dogs, how did you kind of get into the decision that was going to be what you were going to move forward with when it came to Yoe The Groomer and the mobile business?
It catch my attention. Reactions. It really motivates me. The transformations. Demanding a big doodle that nobody's gonna demanding. Better than that, transform the whole dog. Because it was super long or super ugly, and then it becomes like a rock star. That really brings my attention first. I was like, and then I start being more often, and then I realized that it was a demand for the impossibles. People think I'm the doodle guy. I do all kind of dogs. I groom from Chihuahuas to whatever dog. Definitely the doodles, trends and all of that. But I really get motivated when I see transformation on the dogs. But the impossibles was the one that really pushed me to that direction. So pretty funny. Every people calls me with a doodle is because nobody wants to do what they want to. So.
Right. How did you go about pricing for that?
I put my pricings pretty much based on what I'm doing.
Are you charging hourly, or do you have like a base rate?
No, I have a rate based on the size, based on the breed. But definitely sometimes that rates, you can't do anything because there is different conditions.
Right.
So I realized that the best way for me was to educate that person, definitely see what would be the benefits I'm going to bring to the dog. And then after I do the whole things, I'm going to go and check it out based on my hours, my, effort. Around how much it would be, and price would change from one to another easily. And again, you don't have to be that way for others, but that's the way that I found that it was working for me. I want to be able to enjoy what I was doing. That was the moment that I say, I will do this if you pay me this, because I don't want to get tired of that because you're paying this.
Right.
So that's how I work out the prices. So next time your dog is better condition, the price is going to change for you. I don't want to get tired of what I was doing because I want to enjoy what I was doing. So the price is based on that.
And part of you saying you're enjoying what you're doing is you don't really like to push the dog, right? You just do everything at their pace. Yeah. So if Fluffy has a bad day today and it took him an hour last time, but today it took him 3 hours, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And that's what you're going to pay for.
It is what it is. If you're a professional, you have to understand that.
Right.
Because even humans change mood. The dog today was not as good, or the dog today is not as a good condition. So you just can't go there and no, this or that. So you have to understand that. As a professional, I have that every day. Same dog, same person. The funny story, the most used, it was with the uncle. Look what happened. That doesn't happen in one day, and the uncle have nothing to be with that.
Right.
So you have to understand that. But that's why I say you have to educate yourself, educate the clients, understand what's going on, and then from there you can start taking decisions about this particular dog. Every client that I have is a client that is being tested, in terms of if they really gonna appreciate, what we're doing, if they're gonna really continue, to educating themselves, and they're really interested to give the dog, a better grooming, opportunity, because it's all about, I'm not interested on quantity, I'm more about quality, and that's what is my prices going,
Yeah, for sure. That's what your prices reflect. What? I know you do a lot of doodles, but what's your favorite breed?
Funny enough, my favorite breed is not even the doodle.
What is it?
It's a Schnauzer.
Schnauzer's favorite breed?
Yes, I'm a Schnauzer guy. I have a Schnauzer, Delilah, that is actually 12 years. My first dog on the industry of grooming, because I get her when I was learning to grooming dogs. So I get her because I want a dog to learn.
Right.
And she was my, model. So today I just got a new dog. It's a Superdoodle. That is a huge dog because, again, I want to have a model. I want to be able to learn, to have some opportunity to do my things.
Right. Yeah. If you're doing mainly doodles, it only makes sense.
So I want to be able to understand that. So I get the hardest one. We always say one of the harder ones is Superdoodle. They're huge. They're very long coats. Very interesting dogs. So on the doodles, I think is one of the most I likes from the doodles, the Sheepadoodles. Yes.
And what's a Sheepadoodle for people who don't know?
Chipadoodle is a mix. I mean, my Chipadoodle is a F1. You have, of course, all the F, plus. But mine is a Chipadoodle F1, which means that it's 50% mom poodle standard, a regular poodle like the doodles. And then you have an old English dog, from the other side.
Yeah, old English sheepdog.
Yeah, old English sheepdog. It's pretty funny, the combination, because you can see both dogs in that breed, and I really enjoy it because they're gorgeous both.
Yeah,
so having them together, the colors, the coat is, and funny enough, it's better handling on a Sheepadoodle, the coat, than the golden doodles.
What type of coat does it have? Like, how would you explain that coat?
I was playing very easy. They don't get tangled.
So it's more of a drop coat?
Yes, a drop coat. Is not as silky as golden doodle. It's more like a loose, they really get, the air really opens. The coat is very easy to maintain. You're really interested.
Oh, so you got a good coat then.
Oh man, I wanna get old, so I get my Chipadoodle.
Because I mean, I've heard that doodle coats can be a nightmare.
Golden doodles.
You never know what you're gonna
Golden
get with those
doodles
guys.
is the undercoat for that dogs is unpredictable. You can't. I don't give price over the phone because I can't just think in a golden doodle like I think in a schnauzer or I think in a whatever other breed. So never we give, not even at the store or at my mobile, prices over the phone because there is no way for me to know what's going to be there.
Right, yeah, because you never know what you're going to get with those guys. Any groomer that you look at or look up to when it comes to the schnauzers? Like anyone that sticks out to you in particular,
Yes, this guy, Silver Tech that I follow on social media. I don't know, you heard about it?
You heard of him?
No? I see that
you gotta put me on. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, there's many guys that they're really, goes on the schnauzer. But again, when it comes to the point that sometimes they do more like a show dog, I still learn from that, like hand stripping, these techniques, tag techniques, which is not the techniques that we do at a store or a mobile, like a commercial groomer.
Do you prefer the show trim, or do you prefer the schnauzer in like an Asian fusion, for example?
For schnauzers, I love the Asian fusion, but definitely I will go on the shows, like the regular with the hand strippings, all the lines, blends. I love it, I really love that.
Right.
Definitely.
Jay Bautista does an awesome schnauzer and Asian fusion. Yeah, his schnauzers are dope.
I love that dude.
Yeah. He's super cool people.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually wanted to give you this. I have a present for you.
Oh, okay.
This is actually new. It isn't even out yet. I believe it's gonna come out in Atlanta. But this is a show loop from Alpha Dog Grooming Loops or Alpha Grooming, right? Alpha Grooming Products. Yeah, Alpha Grooming Products. So this is their show loop is new, and this is our Groom House collab. So that's exclusive. It hasn't even come out yet.
You can miss it.
That's all yours. And we were talking earlier, and you don't have a regular one, so I wanted to give you one of their AXLs as well.
Okay.
All right, cool. So
Pretty
that's
cool.
for you.
I got it all. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Shout out
This
Alpha.
is a very useful, equipment that I have because with my doodles, this thing they get destroyed, bro.
Yeah, that show loop. From what I understand, those would be great for your schnauzers and things like that. Just having the dog on the table, and that thing right there, the AXL is heavy duty. It works well in the tub.
I was about to say they're very
amazing.
Good. They looks very good. You can tell.
Yeah,
and
for
I love
sure.
You're there, right there. You can tell. This is you
that
guys.
Groom House pink, the
love
pink
it.
and black.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, man. How long have you had Sheepadoodle for?
7 months, and he's already 60 pounds.
I saw you were doing like training today and stuff.
Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
How important has that been for you in terms of bonding?
Man, the world. We literally finished today working, and I went with my brother-in-law to a restaurant. First time my dog in a restaurant.
Right.
I went there. The dog was walking. He's a puppy. The dog was walking like a rock star between the people. People was watching him. Look at that dog. The dog was very cool. He go next to me on the table. I place the commands, stay, sit, lay down, and my friend, I really, really enjoy, the moment with my dog, which is my goal with this doodle, because I'm traveling, I'm doing a lot of things with my dog. So I'm really enjoying this opportunity that I'm having to train my own dog and being able to enjoy everywhere that I go with my dog. But I'm definitely trying to get him as a therapy dog to be able to help kids at the hospitals, being able to bring this dog, as I would say, you mentioned what you just mentioned, not the therapy. You mentioned the service animal. Right. Yes, pretty much, being able to use a dog for benefit people's, it would be definitely my goal. Yes.
So, yeah. Go to hospitals and stuff.
Yes, that's pretty much my goal, to being able. You mentioned service, that's why I mentioned therapy, because first I have to become a service dog, which is my idea, and then we have to, of course, do all the process, which takes longer and more expertise. That's pretty much the training that he's getting to. He's now on basic, and then he's going to be on advanced. It's going to be a lot of time, but it's going to be worth it. And I highly recommend to anyone, train your dog. You really want to enjoy your pet, train your pet.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I think it's super important too. It's something that, like, I didn't grow up with pets. So, it's something that, like, I learned kind of later on how important it really is to, like, train your dog. And it's not just, a matter of obedience. It's just like the time that you get to spend with them, bonding and things like that. And it just, like you said, it makes things easier.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I want to go with my dog whatever place and enjoy. I see some people, unfortunately, they don't even go out with the dog because the dog is pulling or the dog is barking or the dog can see other dog because it's going to eat the dog. And I mean, I think that should be, considered. You are trying to get a dog as a priority for your dog. I mean, we think about our kids. And I see people, not training because they're not pet, but I see people teaching their kids the right things because they want to be able to go with the kids. Right. Some people, they can't have kids and they have a pet. So come on, let's train them to be able to enjoy them.
Some people don't train their kids either.
Though. Yeah, well, that happens too.
So we can expect to see Superdoodle at the Guy booth soon.
That's a surprise.
But the reason I brought up Superdoodle and Guy in general is I really want to just talk to, kind of bring it way back, to the beginning. I know that Guy was one of the first people that you talked to. You didn't really go to Guy to seek out an ambassadorship, right? It just kind of fell on your lap. And it is a story that you've told me before, but I think it's a really cool story and I want you to tell it again. How did you end up getting the ambassadorship with Guy?
Funny enough, I don't even know about ambassadors or stuff or brands. I was a client for years. People think that I'm with Guy because I go there trying to get some kind of a sponsor, whatever. And this is a true short story about Guy Buttercup and Yoe The Groomer. I was going to, and that's why I was to Global Expo, because I thought that the only way that I can see Guy Buttercup on real live was at Global Pet Expo. I didn't know they go all over the country. Right. So since there, I go every year to Global because I want to go to the Guy Buttercup booth to get my chairs and upgrade my chairs, because every year I upgrade my chairs to a better one. So after pandemic, 2 years, no Global Pet Expo, I was super excited about going for Global because Guy Buttercup would be there and I want some chairs. So I stopped at the booth. Edward, the founder, was there as always sitting on the booth. He was already my friend. Joe, how are you? It's been a while. So he always give me the tour. Ed, you know what I'm talking about. He gave me the tour. This is a new product. Try this, try that. This is a gift for you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and he told me, you have to know my song. Let me bring him for you. I was like, no, Ed, I don't have time. I need to go. No, you have to know my song. You have to meet my song. And he left. He left me at the booth alone. I was okay. I'll take care of the booth in a second. Come back. And I was there like, what I'm doing here. So some people approached and they started talking to me. I didn't realize when Andrew Give, the song, came back to the booth and actually sit back on the chair that was sitting Ed before. And I just keep talking. When I finished talking to the ladies told me, okay, let me pay you. I was like, I don't work here. What do you mean? I'm client. I'm waiting for the owner. So Andrew was behind me, I don't know for how long, watching me. And he just started laughing. And he told me, who are you? I was like, no, who are you? I'm Andrew Guy. I'm Yoe The Groomer. I was, okay, sit down. Let me talk to you. So it was pretty funny because, the way it happens, was not planned. I just decided to talk about Guy like it was one of them for whatever reason. I just start talking, trying to explain someone what was there, what was my passion about, why I was getting shares from there. And then it becomes a very personal relationship between both of us, you know, Guy Buttercut and Yoe The Groomer, about the passion that we both share, you know. And that's how I ended up at Guy Buttercut booth. And I'm very grateful. I'm very happy that this journey, you know, really, you know, opens a whole world for Yoe The Groomer, being able to go to the trade shows, being able to learn, competing. This is a premise for you. Nobody knows. This is the first time that I say I'm competing this year. So I'm getting educated. I'm getting trained for professionals. I'm going to also get my degrees. I'm going to go to the school and get all the things done. So I want to be able to...
Competitive groomers, Yoe is coming.
Not for, don't get me wrong. I say this very, you know, like...
I feel the same way
humble,
too.
And doing this because it's part of my career. And I want to be able to cover, you know, as much as I can because that's my goal. Educate others. So I need to educate myself first. But yes, this is the year that Yoe The Groomer is going to be about education. And hopefully at the end of the year, I'll be, you know...
That's amazing, man. Yeah. Good luck. I really would love to see you in the ring.
Thank you.
It's a goal of mine too. You know, once we kind of get the business a little bit more situated and a little bit more automated, I'm going to learn. And
are you competing?
I want to. That,
all right,
you know,
that's good.
That's like, I feel like I kind of have to. Like, I feel like I have so much theory in my head from just filming all these classes and stuff like that. If I don't compete or at least try to do it one time, I kind of feel like I'd be letting Pina down.
Yeah, when we have passion about something, that's where we're gonna end it up. If you're passionate about it, and because it's your field, you know, like you say, you're getting a lot of from the images that you really like, literally think that you know how to do it already.
Yeah.
So we'd be very excited for you to really try.
I mean, obviously, like I know it's gonna be a lot of hard work, and I have a plan. Like I'm gonna get a dog and really learn how to do it. But also I think it'll be a way for me to learn how to shoot better, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because if I understand and can kind of see where the groom is going better than I already do, I feel like that's only going to translate to even better videos, which is something that you said also is, you know, continuously learning, continuously growing and challenging yourself. I think is super important, not just as an entrepreneur, but also as a creative, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what to this point has been, now that you've been introduced to the dog grooming industry, now that you've had this whole year going from show to show and traveling the country, what would you consider the highlight of this past year for you and being new in the dog grooming industry?
I mean, the highlight for Yoe The Groomer is definitely what I mentioned before, the hungry that created me about like doing better, trying to understand the industry from A to Z as much as I can, trying to process that knowledge, trying to reprocess as a practice, and being able to then expose to others, you know, share with others my way, my techniques, because definitely it really boosts my passion. See all that I'm seeing, getting closer to these 20 years, groomers competing, trying to do the impossible, trying to do like art, because this is art.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, when I say art, this is real art. What we do as a groomers, doesn't matter, competitors or retail store, you know, what we do is art. As art, we want to do it better. And that's pretty much my highlight, being able to unlearn some things, you know, to reprocess that information and brings better quality. Like I mentioned before, I'm not anymore interested about quantity. I'm very interested on quality.
Right. So you've just been super motivated to up the quality as much as you can.
I am like a baby with a new hard drive, recording and saving and editing and processing all the information to post again.
Yeah. And that's super hard, just unlearning things too. That's like
the
really
hardest
hard.
thing I ever tried in my life, unlearn. you know. And when I say unlearn, it's from everything as owner, as pet groomer, as an employee, as my own boss, everything, you know, because sometimes we think that because we already been there, we know, and now we are here. And then we realize that there is still something to finish, like we call unfinished business, and we go back, and then we go back. So it's very hard for me being exposed to this big world now to reprocess. But that's my goal. Like I mentioned, education. It's pretty much my highlight. It's this year. Okay, we have to do it again. So yeah.
What was your favorite show, you would say?
So far, my favorite show is being Vegas, Super Zoo.
Yes.
In terms of me, you know, I'm not talking about entrepreneur, business. I'm talking about myself. Maybe also because, you know, the experience that I have with the city.
Was that your first time in Vegas?
It was my first time in Vegas.
Yeah. That
was with my wife too. I mean, it was... I'm being honest, my, you know, most excited show has been Vegas, but every show have something special. This is very personal. Me at the booth, like I mentioned before, my relationship with Guy, it gives me the opportunity to really enjoy. I am working, but sometimes, I don't know, maybe somebody gets, you know, like related with this, but I'm working, but I am not working. So I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I can be super busy, that I'm never going to be overwhelmed or stressed about anything because I'm really having fun at every show.
That's amazing.
You know?
What can we expect next from you?
A new Yoe, like I say.
A new Yoe. So I know you promised competing.
I started transformation already.
All right, cool. So I would definitely. Do you have a goal for which show you want to compete at? Like, is there a goal or?
I'm pushing for Hershey. Definitely.
Hershey?
I don't know if I'm gonna make it because again. I'm going to answer this question that nobody have done here, but as somebody did it, many of them already. Why you haven't compete? Because I'm not ready. Right. I'm going to be educated. I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to go there when I think that I'm going to bring something to the table, that I'm going to bring, you know, something that deserves attention. I'm not competing just because I want to compete. Like I mentioned, I'm doing this because it's part of my career. It's not my goal to become a competitor. Don't expect Yoe The Groomer on the tables every show because that's not going to happen. I'm more focused on education than competing and all of that. So my content is you being around. It's going to be about education, motivation, because actually I see many groomers are struggling because they think they can or this is too hard. No, you can do it. You have to really, you know, believe in yourself, educate yourself, and you're going to, you know, discover that there is a lot to do like happens to me.
Right. And not only, you know, is a motivation a factor, like you're not only motivating people that are in the same position as you that want to do that, but you're also motivating your employees.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And everything that you're learning, you know, to get to the point to be a competitive groomer, you can take back to your employees, 100%. Teach them, and that's just going to make your business even better.
100%. Like I mentioned before, I want my guys, my friends working at my company and people around me, you know, because there is sometimes groomers that they don't work with you, but they're really following and, you know, really communicating with you. They're learning from you. And you can just take that as a fact that you just have it done. There's people waiting for you to see how they keep going, you know, and that I understand that after a few months, there was people looking what I was doing and trying, you know, to learn. And I put that very important highlight on my life because it was a responsibility that I have with these people that are not even from this country. And, you know, bringing that knowledge to my guys, it becomes now like a need for me. So every show that I come back, they're like, so what's new? You know, they're really hungry. So I get that as a fact of others. So now every time that I am out there, I always try to get something, you know, to bring back home, practice, learning, you know, make it happen. So my guys at the shops and people around me, they're very, you know, excited as me. So
absolutely. Yeah. How much has the industry changed for you in a year?
A lot. Now that I understand, now that I come to the shows and I see professionals. When I say professionals, I don't want to insult anyone in this industry. Hopefully everybody's professional. But when I say professional, it's like people that really take the time to educate yourself about not only grooming a dog, about to understanding the dog, to understanding the anatomy, to understanding the tools, to understanding many factors that we don't pay attention when we are working in a store, because it's my true story. I have no idea how much we don't know till I know how much I didn't know. And it becomes very fascinating for me, to really encounter that beautiful world about everything that I don't know, and I thought that everything was done.
Right.
I just realized that I was right as a beginner, It really motivates me to go farther, because I was like, oh, so all of this, oh, good. That was what I was looking. That was the moment that Yoe The Groomer become hungry about this industry. What else? So then I discovered a whole world that was right there, and I didn't know.
Right. So, it was the same for me when I came into the industry. It was a complete just culture shock. I never even knew this stuff existed.
Yeah.
So, being that you're saying you're seeing the pros, right? The pros amongst the professionals, the competitive groomers, and you're seeing the skill that goes into that, right? How has that changed your business?
Completely, because the demand it's now on my guys, even my friends. Whenever I learn something, whenever something new in the industry, it's very motivational for me being able to, give my guys, because they're working at the shop and like me, they don't know, being able to bring this education for them, and even, on social media to share with people. Like I say, I love people. That's one of my passions. My thing right now is completely educational. I'm trying to put on my style, on my expertise, on my ambience, that knowledge somehow that people are able to understand what I have learned, what I have understand. So I pretty much try to adapt that knowledge to easy, opportunity for everyone, beginners or experts, because I thought that I was an expert when I started doing Yoe The Grooming. I realized that I was really a beginner on the industry compared to people that has been there for 30 years, which I have, to honor that. I've been on the industry for 12 years, but in that area, I'm really learning and I'm enjoying the journey,
Yeah, for sure. It was great having you on.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Shear. What's it called again? Sheer Passion.